Hey guys, what's going on? LAKEY here, and today we're going to be talking about the new killer. The Plague actually came out a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to go over her main ability and some of the things to be aware of when you're playing the killer. So what you want to do, in the description it says hold down the power button to charge Vile Purge, which is what you start out with. Releasing the button unleashes a stream of infectious bile. A survivor hit by the stream becomes infected. A survivor accumulates an amount of infection by being hit by that stream, running or performing interaction. Environmental objects also become infected for a short duration when hit by the stream. So if you're the killer, you can also hit different objects so that the survivors then become infected as well. If the survivor's infection indicators completely filled, they are forced to vomit and continue to do so at random intervals. They become injured if they are not already. So the key point is to use your Vile Purge until they are broken. Once they're in the broken state, I would recommend then hitting them to get them down. But make sure you use enough Vile Purge to get them into the broken phase. Infected survivors can remove all infection by interacting with a pool of devotion. So there are many different pools around the map for the survivors, and it's kind of a tricky balance as to when you go to these pools to collect your Corrupt Purge. But I'll just go ahead and go on with the description. This blocks it from further use by other survivors. If the survivor is injured, they become healthy. If all pools of devotion are corrupted at the same time, all pools of devotion revert to their clean state, and the plague automatically gains Corrupt Purge. Okay, so basically, these pools of devotion, if you're not aware, once the survivor cleanses themselves, you, the killer, can go over to those pools of devotion and gain Corrupt Purge. I'm going to go ahead and continue. The plague may consume the corruption at a pool of devotion, like we were talking about, that has previously been used by a survivor. This removes the corruption from the pool and transforms Vile Purge into Corrupt Purge. Corrupt Purge, which is what we're talking about, instantly damages any survivors hit by the stream, but does not apply infection. This effect only lasts for a short duration. So it's, in a way, it's kind of like Michael Myers' ability, where you only get it for X amount of time. And basically what this Corrupt Purge does is, it's like Vile Purge, but once you hit a survivor with it, that counts as a hit. So 2 hits with the Corrupt Purge on a survivor will down them. That's why you want to go to those pools of devotion to unlock that ability. But it only lasts about 60 seconds or more, depending upon if you have an add-on to do so. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over her 3 abilities. I consider one of these perks to be pretty good. I consider one of the perks to be decent, and one perk can be a lot of fun, but I'm not sure it's exactly the perk for me. But I'm going to go ahead and go over. The first one is Corrupt Intervention, and basically the 3 generators that are located farthest away from you at the beginning of the match are rendered inactive, so the survivors can't get on those generators for X amount of time. The time is dependent upon the level of the perk, but I find that to be one of her best perks, because it prevents gen rushing at the beginning of the game. So for her second perk, it's called Infectious Fright, and essentially if a survivor gets down by you, if survivors are within your terror radius when you down them, then the survivors around you give a loud shriek, which allows you to then hunt them down. I find this to be a pretty good perk if you have a killer like Michael Myers or even Hillbilly, since they have that one hit. Okay, so for her third perk, it's called Dark Devotion, and basically one survivor becomes the obsession, and once you hit that obsession, your terror radius reduces to 0 meters, and the survivor that is the obsession then gets a terror radius of 32 meters for 20 seconds. Okay, so basically that survivor is emitting a terror radius and you're essentially silent, which, well, as you can imagine, it's pretty fun. So those are her 3 perks. I find 2 of them to be pretty decent. I think Corrupt Intervention is a great way to stop gen rushing at the beginning of games, and I find Infectious Fright to be a pretty good perk for certain killers. And Dark Devotion is just kind of a nice meme perk. It can be useful if, I guess, you use it well and you're comfortable with it. Not exactly the perk for me. But at any rate, at the end of the day, this killer is all about balance. Now, essentially what you want to do is to spread your infection at the beginning of the game as much as you possibly can. Because what you want to do is ultimately get them to go to those pools of devotion and then cleanse it. That way you can go to the pools of devotion and get your corrupt purge, right? Now the problem is balancing the two, because obviously you want to spread your plague to as many survivors as possible, but you also want to down survivors and get them on hooks at the same time. So that's where this killer becomes a little bit tricky. It's not that her ability is, very complex. It's actually very simple. It's a matter of, can you balance the two aspects of her gameplay? But I think this killer can be pretty good in certain situations. If you are comfortable with her ability, I think you'll have absolutely no problems. Remember, like I said, it's all about spreading the purge and then taking advantage of that corrupt purge to down more survivors. Well guys, that's pretty much all I had to say about the new killer, the Plague. You're more than welcome to stay around for the rest of the video. I actually killed the last two survivors with the Ebony Mori, and as for the survivor, I'm really liking the new Jane. I think she's a good fit. At any rate guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the content, and if you did, then please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel for future content, and please leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I definitely care what you guys think and what you guys think I could improve upon in the future. And with that in mind, have a great day.